A Delano 8th grader makes his way to the National Spelling Bee. The debate over how to pay for safe, healthy water in the valley continues. And a dramatic rescue of a paraglider is caught on camera. This is 17 News at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Alex Fisher. A local student is competing in the National Spelling Bee. 14-year-old Gabriel Nobleza is one of the 565 spellers competing in the bee this week. He's known as Speller 103. The 8th grader attends Pioneer School in Delano. He and his family came to the U.S. from the Philippines when he was just 2 years old. Gabriel and 11 million other students started their journeys to the bee more than 8 months ago. And now he's made it through the first 2 rounds and spoke about how he got to this point.
I studied the round 2 study list, but I should have also studied the Merriam-Webster Unabridged too, but it's already, I'm going to round 3 this.
This morning he correctly spelled the word petrel, which is a kind of seabird. There's one more round later today, and the finals are set for Thursday. And of course, we'll keep you updated on Nobleza's journey as he continues to spell his way to the top. We have a better timeline on when the trial of a former elementary school principal accused of killing her husband is set to begin. Leslie Chance is charged with the murder in the death of her husband, Todd. You may remember he was shot to death in an orchard off Enos Lane in August 2013. Police arrested Chance days later, but prosecutors did not file charges. Officers arrested her for a second time in December 2016, and she was charged with murder. Since then, the case has been postponed several times. This morning, Judge Charles Bremer said the jury selection is set to begin on June 24th. Opening statements are set for July 16th. A South High School instructional aide is charged with sexually assaulting a woman. The victim said Ernest Blake agreed to give her a ride to Tehachapi in August. That's when the alleged assault happened. Court documents say a DNA sample taken from the victim during a sexual assault exam matched Blake's DNA. According to court documents, the 39-year-old was charged in February and faces 4 felonies. The Kern High School District says Blake has been placed on unpaid administrative leave during this investigation. It is an issue facing millions of Americans and Californians, access to clean, safe drinking water. Earlier this month, we told you about a study possibly linking cancer in California's taps. Water systems at the highest risk serve smaller communities like those here in Kern County. Lawmakers are now debating how to fund the fix. Today, farm worker rights leader Dolores Huerta joined Arvin Mayor Jose Garola and people affected by the issue to rally and urge lawmakers to figure out a solution. They support a proposal by Governor Newsom to establish a safe and affordable drinking water fund. It would secure a sustainable funding source, bringing permanent relief to the 1 million Californians who do not have access to safe drinking water. Supporters want lawmakers to approve the funding by June.
We asked all of us to pay $1 more on our water bill so we can have sustainable funding to make sure not only the establishment of the clean water processes, but also the operating costs. But we can all make this happen together if we work together. But we do.
You may remember several weeks ago, the state gave a $14.3 million loan to the city of Arvin to fix an arsenic contamination problem. Right now, wells in all 6 districts have arsenic levels above state limits. Long-term exposure is associated with increased risk for diabetes, skin disorders, and cancer. The project will give people living in Arvin access to a safe supply of drinking water, something they haven't had for more than a decade. The severe weather that has dogged the country's midsection for weeks now has now stretched into the Rust Belt. Overnight in Ohio, powerful tornadoes destroyed buildings and knocked out power to millions. And in Oklahoma, residents are in a frantic fight with catastrophic flooding. We have reports from NBC's Danielle Grossman in Dayton, Ohio.
Tornado on the ground.
Hundreds of thousands of people getting a terrifying wake-up call overnight in Ohio. Multiple tornadoes touching down, sending residents racing for cover.
You can never prepare for something like this.
It destroyed the house. The path of destruction stretching across Dayton and the western part of the state. Homes turned inside out. Trees ripped from the ground. Power poles snapped. An elementary school in Dayton suburb that would have been packed with children this morning was destroyed. There have been nearly 500 tornadoes reported across the country in the last 30 days. Overnight Dayton becoming the second major city to be hit in the last week, following a destructive twister in Jefferson City, Missouri.
I'm Kerry Sanders in Tulsa. This is what so many roads in Oklahoma look like flooded. The Arkansas River continues to rise and is expected to reach historic levels in the next 24 hours.
This morning in Tulsa, a race against time and rapidly rising waters. Some neighborhoods underwater, some evacuees seeking refuge in Red Cross shelters.
I was scared. I was crying, thinking I was going to drown.
The Army Corps of Engineers trying to relieve pressure on the overflowing Keystone Dam by releasing water. The Oklahoma National Guard busy sandbagging levees built during World War II.
This morning, as these floodwaters rise, emergency officials calculate at least 170 homes have been damaged like this one. And homeowners are only now discovering that if they didn't have federal flood insurance, they're not covered.
Some residents leaving town, this man staying behind, armed, in an attempt to ward off looters.
Don't come down here stealing. I ain't got much, but what I got I intend to keep.
Sandbags also surrounding the nearby Oklahoma Aquarium. The greatest worry, a loss of power here could kill the largest collection of bull sharks in the world.
In the forecast of the coming days, more rain and the potential for more tornadoes. Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Tulsa County, Oklahoma.
Frightening images there. The Highway Patrol was busy this holiday weekend searching for people driving under the influence. The Highway Patrol was in a maximum enforcement period for the Memorial Day weekend. It lasted from Friday evening until midnight yesterday. CHP says 45 people were arrested in Kern County for driving under the influence during that period. A new round-the-clock closure is starting in downtown Bakersfield today. The 24th Street Improvement Project is planning on closing E Street between 22nd and 23rd Streets. This section of road is scheduled to stay closed through at least June 4th, that is next Tuesday. But crews are planning to open up D Street before this new closure. Meantime, a major closure is set to begin tomorrow night on the West Side Parkway. From 9 p.m. until 5 a.m., all eastbound lanes on the parkway will be intermittently closed, though at least one lane will stay open during the road work. Closures are also scheduled on Truxton Avenue between the parkway's on and off ramps. In addition, the eastbound on-ramp from Mohawk Street will be closed for 2 months so the construction team can build a second lane.
Hi, I'm Scott with Aspire. I want to personally thank Kern County for trusting Aspire with being a part of your family's recovery. At Aspire Counseling Services, we take this opportunity very seriously and would be honored for your continued support. Call us today.
Welcome back. A paraglider was rescued in San Diego yesterday after falling on a cliff. The parasail malfunctioned, sending the man plummeting towards thick bushes on the cliff. An emergency helicopter airlifted the 41-year-old man to an ambulance, and he was transported to the hospital. An eyewitness saw the whole thing unfold.
I was looking at all the paragliders going over the cliff. There was just so many. It was one after another. And all of a sudden, one of them, I guess the airflow got him wrong. For her, and it just completely crumbled the parachute, and it went down onto the cliff right over there.
There's no information about the man's injuries. The latest now on that miracle in Maui. Overnight, Amanda Eller attended a celebration for the rescuers who found her over the weekend after her 17-day ordeal lost in a dense Hawaiian forest. NBC's Molly Hunter has more.
I'm so blessed for every breath that I take.
This morning, gratitude for the men who spotted her from the air.
You guys are the heroes. I am not the hero. I'm just the girl sitting here healing my ankles.
And for the community that rallied behind her, an emotional Amanda Eller greeted them one after another. Just days after being airlifted out of the jungle, the 35-year-old yoga instructor and physical therapist suffered a fractured leg, severe sunburns, and a skin infection. Eller says she stopped to meditate and rest and then got disoriented without her phone or GPS.
This is actually where she was.
Troy Helmer, part of the rescue team that found Amanda, took us to the trailhead where she began her hike.
So she ran up and then she cut sideways and ran a mile across the woods on the top of the mountain. And she ran down the road.
As opposed to coming back.
Instead of coming the same way. I don't go in that valley because it's so steep and there's so many box canyons that you're not coming out of there.
Amanda ended up 5 miles deep into the jungle, the terrain unforgiving.
It did come down to life and death, and I had to choose. And I chose life. I wasn't going to take the easy way out.
She survived on jungle fruit and river water, sleeping in mud for warmth, and even crawling when she could no longer walk after falling off a 20-foot cliff. After more than 2 weeks of searching, her family never gave up.
Hallelujah! If anybody could survive that, it was her.
And there she goes!
I've never experienced anything like this, where it's just the community is showing up with so much freaking heart and so much passion, and these guys were not going to give up on me. Thank God.
Now celebrating and giving thanks to the community that never lost hope.
Well, a very special birthday is being celebrated in a place protected for us all, marking its centennial with star parties and events all year long. Grand Canyon National Park is a place so vast its size can't truly be understood until you're standing at its rim. NBC's Miguel Almaguer takes us there.
Of its vast beauty, Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Leave it as it is. Man can only mar it." It seems his words still echo off these stunning vistas.
It's more grand than you can imagine.
100 years ago, the Grand Canyon became a national park. In 1919, the Great War over, America was looking west. With an influx of visitors, the Park Service was charged with protecting this American treasure.
Over the last century, a lot has changed, but not necessarily here. Park rangers say that's the point.
We need to preserve and protect this landscape.
Ranger Jill Starowski has been coming here since she was 10.
Does view ever get old?
No, never.
Whether it's your first or 100th visit here, some things never change. Whether you're winding through the forest or on the canyon's rim, most will only see it in pictures. It's impossible to get it all in a single day.
Every year, 6 million visitors come to take in what poets struggle to put into words. One of the darkest night skies on the planet, the canvas of gods.
Mind-boggling. And it's beautiful. It's amazing.
A beauty mankind could never create, but must always protect. On the rim of the Grand Canyon, Miguel Almaguer, NBC News.
It is just breathtaking. If you or someone you know is celebrating their 100th birthday or beyond, just send us an email at 17news@kget.com so we can feature them in one of our newscasts. Welcome back in your Business Watch and taking a look at stocks. The Dow Jones right now down 105 points. NASDAQ is down 12. S&P 500 down 10. Checking oil prices. West Texas Intermediate is at $58.90 a barrel, and Midway Sunset Oil is at $65.88 a barrel. Apple is releasing its first new iPod in 4 years. This right here is the 2019 edition of the iPod Touch. It runs on the A10 Fusion chip, which Apple says makes the iPod run twice as fast as before. The latest iPod Touch can also support group FaceTime calls and augmented reality, and will support the upcoming game subscription service, Apple Arcade. And the device starts at just under $200. It is available to order on the Apple Store and Apple.com and will start appearing in stores later this week. Back in 2008, Apple sold more than 55 million iPods, but the tech giant stopped releasing iPod sales figures in 2013, and the device is no longer prominently featured on the company's website and Apple stores. Yet the iPod remains popular to those seeking an inexpensive alternative to iPhones or iPads. The unofficial start to summer is here, and chances are you've already planned your sunny getaways. But before you book, a new report finds most of us are missing out on profitable credit card rewards. Mary Maloney has a closer look.
Vacation mode on. And if you weren't planning to use plastic to pay for summer travel, think again. According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 61% of surveyed Americans don't have a travel rewards card and may be missing out on big rewards.
Of those who had rewards travel credit cards, about 49% earned $1,051 or more. in the past year.
Experts say follow these rewards cards' do's and don'ts. The first do, find a rewards card that fits your lifestyle. If you drive a lot, get a card that gives you cash back when you gas up. And if you like to entertain, a card that gives you money back for dining may suit you.
What are your spending patterns? Do you spend a lot on groceries? Maybe you need a credit card that offers grocery rewards.
Another must-do, research which card gives you the biggest sign-up bonus. And here's what to avoid. Don't leave money on the table. Keep track of all your rewards programs to make sure you redeem points before they expire. And finally, the biggest no-no.
One thing you want to avoid is putting your vacation expenses on a credit card if you don't think you can actually afford a vacation.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Hi, I'm Scott with Aspire. I want to personally thank Kern County for trusting Aspire with being a part of your family's recovery. At Aspire Counseling Services, we take this opportunity very seriously and would be honored for your continued support. Call us today.